Paul Conradi with Eichler Valve. There's a pressure gauge. It's set at 1/2 of a pound PSI. There's a valve that is installed right there in that part of the riser. There's the piston that's inside that valve body. And that's what the valve cartridge looks like. And it's designated with the serial number and date of production. So anyway, we're going to crank this baby up, and we're flowing air, and we have different values on these three exhausts. So we're flowing air, and this valve is rated at 290 CFH. So just wanted to show you that we're flowing through the meter. And we'll crank on these other valves and continue to flow until we get to a break in the line, a catastrophic failure. So if we're flowing too much, again we're flowing, I think right here we're flowing right at about 220. But anyway, we'll open this last valve, and I'll open it slowly. You can see, if you'll watch the gauge on top, the pressure gauge, you'll see that, and all the plastic stops moving, and you'll see that we have a catastrophic failure and the Eichler valve sets. So right there the valve is set. So we're going to make the repair. We'll put all the valves back to normal to make the repair. And we do have a bypass on this particular valve. If we wait a period of time, pressure will equalize, just like I did there by turning the valve off and on. And so now we're back in business. We're back at 1/2 pound. So we'll flow again, flow in a different configuration. We're flowing, again, we're flowing air, and the valve sets. So we'll put everything back to normal. We'll fix that catastrophic failure, and then we'll turn the valve, service valve, off and on. It resets the valve. So here, what we've got here is we're running 1/2 pound, and we're running 1/2 pound, and now we're going to have an overpressurization. And the top of the picture, you'll see pop. So what we've got there is we've got a pop-off valve, and when we get to overpressurization, that cap pops off and it leaves our pipe open. And so right at just a little better than 1 pound. Every time we're going to speed this up. We do it multiple times. But that cap pops off, and if you can envision that cap being inside a vent fitting that is placed somewhere on the meter assembly. We are working with UPSCO to create a housing for this pop-off valve, and again, right at 1 pound, it'll pop off, and it creates a totally open pipe, which instantly seats the Eichler valve. So the Eichler valve is working in unison with the pop-off valve. We create excess flow instantly by that cap popping off at 1 pound. So I just did this multiple times, and just to show that it's pretty, whenever it pops off, it's right at 1 pound. So here I go ahead and I run it up to 1 pound, and I level it off right at 1 pound. And so bear with us while it stays right at 1 pound, but just wanted to show how stable it is. So I leave it set, parked here at 1 pound for quite some time. And if I were to speed it up, it wouldn't do it justice what I'm doing. So I'm parking it right at a pound. And if you wanted to speed it up, watch the video. I'm going to go to, I'll start cranking it up here in a little bit. I just wanted you to see that it's very stable at a pound. I'll start easing it up here in a minute. And this overpressurization that happened, that was when we were contacted about what could we do. We have the excess flow, but with overpressurization, we want to stop the flow of gas instantly if we go over X psi. So we've created this component to double the half-pound psi, a half-pound of pressure that's in a system with no regulators. And again, the trick to this is to create open pipe so that we can flow gas. It'll flow and instantly seal the system so it's not leaking gas. You can see I've started cranking it up here a little bit. We're a little beyond a pound now. But where we were earlier in this video, I just set the poundage so you could see it run right up to a pound and pop at about the same location every time. We've been testing this same cap and this same valve body probably 100 times, so obviously we wouldn't have overpressurization that often. So snapping that back onto the fitting has not affected it at all. That's what I was kind of wanting to do, just see if we did repetitions and the cap came off. You can see that we're building to about, when we go real slow, we can build to about 1.2, 1.3. So thank you for looking in on our video here, looking at the Eichler valve, the excess flow valve, and the Eichler pop-off valve, working in unison to protect that system. Thank you.